Welcome back, Truth Seeker. The NBA has announced its plan for a return on July 31st, 2020 to conclude the 74th NBA season. And of course, they've done it on the day in May with the 74 date numerology. I'm going to show you what a ritual this is, perfectly in tribute to how the season was suspended on March 11th, the 142nd day of the season, where coronavirus equals 142, and now they're going to resume the season 142 days after the suspension. Of course, in recent days, we've talked about how NASCAR resumed on the 142nd day of the year, how they just had the golf showdown between Tiger and Mickelson in the tournament that was named with the 142 Gematria, but there's a whole lot more here. With regards to July 31st, the majority of the world writes that date 31/7, like 317. And when we covered Kobe Bryant's memorial and all the different rituals in it, the biggest number we hit on was 317. That memorial was called A Celebration of Life. Kobe and Gianna Bryant with the ampersand. And in Gematria, that sums to 317. And remember, that's the 66th prime number. Lakers equals 66. LeBron 66. LeBron came to the Lakers in a huge 66 ritual. But not only that, the host of the ceremony was Jimmy Kimmel. And he even said at the beginning, he's like, I don't know why you guys chose me for this. Well, look at Jimmy Kimmel's birthday, November 13th, the 317th day of the year. So we covered this back on February 24th. The significance of 317, how it's the 66th prime, how it connects to the Lakers and LeBron, the new star of the team who's replaced Kobe, who passed Kobe in points scored the day before Kobe's death and passed him in his hometown Philly in a massive ritual. So look at this. Look at all that they've done with this July 31st date. It's not just the coronavirus thing. There's a lot here. So again, this announcement comes today, May 29th, 2020, a date with 74 numerology. It is the 74th NBA season. Remember, Zion Williamson equals 74, the big new star of the league in the 74th NBA season, and they had the sweepstakes for him last year on May 14th, 2019, which was Zionist Israel's birthday. In Gematria, Jewish equals 74. But again, the season began October 22nd. It was suspended March 11th, the 142nd day of the season, coronavirus 142. Okay, just like I said, NASCAR resumed on the 142nd day of the year, May 21st. The golf tournament that just happened this weekend, the name of it's 142. You know what? I'll just show it to you real quick. So you don't got to take my word for it. I'll just search Mickelson. There it is. Tiger Woods defeats Phil Mickelson in the match championship for charity, May 24, 2020. And here it is right here. Coronavirus 142 and 70, Mickelson 142, Phil Mickelson 70. There's been all this Tiger symbolism during the time of coronavirus. So Tiger beats the perfectly named golfer in the tournament that was a tribute or a charity to raise money for coronavirus called the Match Champions for Charity 142. Again, you guys, it's all scripted. It's all perfectly named. It's all perfectly encoded. It's all synced up with the calendar. And I'll make that point again here as we move on. But you can't deny it. You cannot deny it. And it gets better than that. So, July 31st leaves 153 days left in the year. It says it's the 212th day of the year in this little cutout I have, but remember it's a leap year. So July 31st this year is the 213th day of the year. 213, the LA area code where Kobe died. 213. And I talk about it all the time. I talked about it the day before Kobe died in the video I did on why LeBron was going to pass Kobe in points scored on January 25th and what the ritual was with it that day. And I reminded, Kobe Bryant finished his career scoring 60 points exactly 213 days after Moses Malone died at age 60. And that mattered because Moses Malone and Kobe Bryant were drafted out of high school, and Moses Malone was drafted by Utah. They were the Utah Stars back then. Kobe finished his career against the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz, the only team in the league that sums to 113 like Kobe Bryant. And the Utah Jazz are the reason the NBA was suspended on March 11th or 11/3. Hold on. Excuse me, guys. It's allergy season. I can feel it coming on. But anyway, July 31st. It's the day leaving 153 days left in the year. In a moment, they're going to talk about how they're debating on finishing out a little bit of the regular season or just jumping into the playoffs. And if they decide to play the remaining or a few more games for each team so that they can get their TV contract deal, they'll have a 72-game season instead of an 82-game season. So they're debating on that right now. They haven't announced it. Are they going to play a few more regular season games or just jump right into the playoffs? But they've said 72-game season. And notice, in Gematria, Jesuit order equals 153 and 72. And for years, I've been showing you how the Jesuits and the Catholic Church have so much influence over the world of sports, especially with basketball and college basketball. And that's part of the reason LeBron's nicknamed King James, who has a Bible in his honor, the real King James. And, of course, that's how I helped a lot of people win a ton of money. The year the Cavs were down 3-1 to the Warriors, I said, LeBron's coming back, and he's winning it on the real King James's birthday in Game 7. King James equals 89. The Warriors went down with 89 points in that game. And before that season even began, I told people why the Lakers were a lock to win the finals that year. A lot of people were really mad at me when they were down 3-1, but I said, bet again. Get these 40-1 odds. It's going to happen. Boom. Anyway. Jesuit order 153 and 72. Keep in mind 153 is the 17th triangular number. NBA equals 17. That's why the Celtics lead the NBA with 17 championships. MLB's 27. The Yankees lead the MLB with 27 championships. But anyway, Jesuit rituals. The Jesuits served the Catholic Church. Kobe Bryant reportedly died traveling from Catholic Mass in bad weather. So, Jesuit numbers in the story that they might play this 72-game season. July 31st, 2020 will also be a date with 78 and 42 numerology. The word Jesuit alone is 78 and 42. Huge numbers with the coronavirus ritual. Again, Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit, who said that there would be a pandemic and surprise outbreak in the time of Trump's presidency before Trump took office. From Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit's birthday, to the day that the pandemic was declared March 11th, 78 days later. And he said that at the Jesuit school, Georgetown. Georgetown equals 42 like Jesuit. Now here's another one. From the day that Kobe died to the day that they're resuming the season, 187 days. The official name of the Jesuits is the Society of Jesus, which equals 187, which of course is also the homicide code in California. I was just talking about this with the George Floyd thing because Minneapolis police equals 187, and there's a viral image of someone wearing a Lakers jacket with a Justice for George Floyd sign. And the Lakers are originally from Minneapolis, where he was killed. That's why they're called the Lakers, because Minneapolis, Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. But Minneapolis Police 187, Society of Jesus 187, 187 days from Kobe's death to the date they're going to restart the season. And what else is interesting is from the date they're restarting to LeBron's upcoming birthday this year, it's 153 days as well, just like it leaves 153 days left in the year. And they're going to play all of the remaining games, the playoffs, everything. If they have a regular season, every last game is going to be played at the Disney ESPN Sports Resort, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment, but in Orlando, Florida. And you might recall a couple years back, you had the Pulse nightclub shooting, and I showed people how that was synced up with the finals. And LeBron was criticized for wearing a WWE shirt of The Undertaker after the shooting, which people thought was morbid, and then The Undertaker showed up at his game to support him. All ritual. But Orlando, Florida's 144 and 72. Look at Jesuit order. 144 with the alphabetic order. 54 with the alphabetic order and rules of numerology, just like Kobe Bean Bryant's 54. Like how LeBron passed Kobe, scoring the 54th points of the game in Philly, Kobe's hometown, on the date January 25th, or 25/1, like 251, the 54th prime. But Jesuit order 144 with the alphabetic order, 54 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology, 153 with the reverse alphabetic order, 72 with the reverse alphabetic order and rules numerology. And this complex where they're going to play at is owned by Disney, which owns ESPN. And the name of the complex is called the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex. ESPN's 54 forwards and backwards. We've talked about rituals with 54 and ESPN, and also TNT. TNT is also 54. But we've talked about rituals done in the doubleheaders with the NBA and these numbers so many times. My favorite of all time was years ago. It was the year that LeBron won the finals, beating the Warriors on the real King James's birthday. That year, there was a doubleheader. And I can't remember for sure if it was ESPN or TNT because they're both 54 networks. But that night, the Cavs played first, and they got their 54th win of the season, which was a gimme. And then the Warriors came into the game with a record 54-game home winning streak, which of course was snapped that night by the Boston Celtics. And there was more to it than that, which we covered at the time, and it was all synced up with the finals. And it was another sign that the Cavs would beat the Warriors that year. But remember, Kobe Bean Bryant, his full name 54. LeBron passes him in his hometown, scoring the 54th points in the game. Kobe dies traveling from Catholic Mass. The Jesuits, the military order within the Catholic Church. Again, if you're new here, Gematria, it's based on 4 ciphers, and you have to know all 4 to see the totality of all riddles. And just one more time, I feel bad for the people that watch all my videos because I'm so redundant, but there's always new people here. I'm just going to type in Kobe Bryant. So look at Kobe Bryant in the all 4 ciphers because they all matter. 113. Kobe Bryant drafted round 1, 13th pick overall. He makes his debut in the NBA on November 3rd, 11/3. The month before his death, he's in the news on the 113th day of his age for being a good Samaritan. There was an accident in Los Angeles that he saw, and he got out and he helped guide traffic. This was a news story a month before his accidental death. Kobe Bryant with the alphabetic order and rules numerology, 41. He comes off the court in his last career game with 4.1 seconds after making his last shot with number 41 guarding him. Huge number with his whole career. 41's the 13th prime. LA's 13 and 41. He dies at age 41. His daughter dies at 13. With the reverse alphabetic order, Kobe Bryant 157. He died on his 157th day of his age. And a million more things with that 157. The word accident's 157. And again, a million more things. I encourage you to go back and watch my old work. But understand, he died at age 41 on his 157th day of his age, a month after, on his 113th day of his age, being involved in a media story about helping an accident. And then 58, huge number. Los Angeles Lakers is 58 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology, like secret society, like Rosicrucian, like Freemasonry. King James, the real King James, was a Freemason and Rosicrucian who dropped dead at age 58. The term biblical is 58. The day before Kobe died, King James passed him in a biblical ritual. And remember, the cartoon that predicts Kobe's death, Chamberlain Heights, that episode came out on November 16th, a date that can be written 16/11. That's the year the King James Bible came out, 1611. And there, again, there's a whole lot more to it. You look at that cartoon graphic, you'll see that the guy in the middle is wearing a 54 jersey for Chamberlain Heights. And when Wilt Chamberlain died, it was before the 54th NBA season, and the Lakers won the finals 251 days later, the 54th prime. And he died in Beverly Hills, which reminds of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where Will Smith's from Philly. And again, there's a whole lot more to this. But if you do Kobe's full name, Kobe Bean Bryant, he's a Boule member. The Boule's birthday is on the 135th day of the year. He did a predictive programming with Nike and Kanye West with an exploding helicopter in the film Black Mamba. He crashed right by Kanye West's house, which is now for sale. And he died 135 days from Kanye West's June 8th birthday. Again, we talked about 54. Kobe died in the 243rd year of the nation's existence. His highest scoring game ever was 81 points, and now they're talking about making him the NBA logo. He died 243 days after Jerry West's 81st birthday, and Jerry West is the current logo of the NBA. They're talking about replacing Jerry West with Kobe Bryant. And see how perfect it is? Dying 243 days after the 81st birthday of Jerry West. Again, these ciphers you must know to see all of the riddles. A lot of people come here and they think, oh, you're using all these ciphers. You can probably just make anything equal what you want. No, it's just a really dumb thought that a lot of dumb people have. And I want to make sure you're not one of those dumb people. So, trying to help you out. Now for the kicker, the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, 373, the 74th prime number to close out the 74th NBA season. And just using the most simple cipher there is, the alphabetic order. Remember, we're talking about the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus. I want you to see that Kobe equals 33, the age Jesus was crucified at, right? This is the 74th NBA season. Jesus 74, Messiah 74, the story of Jesus, the gospel, Gospels 74, parables 74, and guess what cross equals? 74. Out of the 50 states, only one sums to 74. It's the 33rd state, Oregon. And if you run the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology, Jesus Christ is also 74. So is George Washington. And I just bring that up because they say George Washington had 74 generals. They say out of his 74 generals, 33 of them were Masons. Masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33, federal 33. For all you good Catholics, look up the 33-day Pope. He went to bed on the Jesuit order's birthday, September 27th, and he never woke up again. He said he was going to clean up the Vatican Bank. Arsenic equals 33. 33rd element on the periodic table. The Jesuits have used arsenic for years to kill people, for centuries. So again, there's way more to Kobe's death. A lot of information out there if you want to check it out while my channel still exists. For a couple more, making sure there can be no mistake about who's behind this. From March 11th to May 29th, 79 days. 79 days. And Society of Jesus is 79. Orlando's 79. March 11th, the day the season was suspended. May 29th, the day they make the announcement about when they're going to return. And there's even a few more things here that can be mentioned. From Kobe's memorial on February 24th to today, the day they're announcing that they're coming back, is 95 days later. The Jesuits' official birthday is September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year. Again, they were formed to kill Martin Luther and his followers who wrote the 95 Thesis against the Catholic Church. If you count the span of days, it would be 96 days. Lakers equals 96. Again, that's why you got to know the ciphers forwards and backwards. Earlier we were talking about the 33. But look at this. Lakers 66 forwards, 96 in reverse. LeBron 66 forwards, 96 in reverse. And again, they're returning on 31/7, like 317, the 66 prime. After that was the number at the Kobe ritual. And by the way, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology, LeBron's 33, James is 33. So what happens when you add it together? LeBron James 66. And with regards to the alphabetic order and LeBron James being 114, the real King James birthday is June 19th, like 619, which is the 114th prime number. And again, he won his only championship with the Cavs on the real King James's birthday, where the Cavs are called the Cavaliers. And what are Cavaliers in history? They're the people who fought for King Charles, the son of King James. Also, from Kobe's memorial to the date that they're restarting the season, July 31st, that's 158 days later. And the Jesuits were officially established September 27th, but they were formed a few years before that on August 15th, a date that's written 15/8, like 158. So again, there can be no mistaking who's behind this entire ritual. And again, Kobe was traveling from Catholic Mass. I should also mention that in light of Walt Disney owning ESPN and them finishing the season at this Disney ESPN complex in Orlando, Walt Disney is a member of De Molay. He's the most famous De Molay member ever. De Molay's a Masonic order for children, and it's named after De Molay, the leader of the Knights Templar, who served the Catholic Church, just like the Jesuits. And since I brought up the point earlier about Zion Williamson in the 74th NBA season in the sweepstakes on Israel's birthday last year, May 14th, 2019, the reason that Israel was established May 14th, no doubt, has everything to do with the Catholic Church. The Jesuits who operate within the Catholic Church, they were formed in part by people who were Jewish. The second superior general of the Jesuits was Jewish, and he died by the numbers just like the founder, Loyola, Ignatius of Loyola, died by the numbers. It seems that all these Jesuit superior generals die by the numbers. And I'll make a point about that here in just 1 second. But May 14th, 14/5, like 145, and it was David Ben-Gurion who declared Israel a nation on May 14th. You run the alphabetic order forwards, 145 again, 14/5. And just to understand how the Jesuits roll, just going to type in Superior General here. This just happened on May 20th. The Superior General of the Jesuits, the former Superior General, Adolfo Nicolas, died at age 84. Huge number with the Jesuits. Notice Superior General's 84, like Jesuit. If you write out the Jesuit order, it's 84. If you write out the Catholic Church, it's 84. We have the first publicly Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, born on an 84 date numerology, who's living in his 84th year of his life, meaning he'll turn 84 later this year, December 17th, 2020. But from the current, and by the way, they did a 142 in that as well, but from the current Superior General of the Jesuits, known as the Black Pope, from his birthday to the death of the man he replaced was his 191st day of his age, and Society of Jesus with the alphabetic order forwards is 191. So, again, you look at the history of things. The English language is credited to a Catholic monk. The calendar system we're on is credited to Pope Gregory of the Catholic Church. Catholic Church was government before government existed. And it really isn't hard to see who's running the show, especially with what's going on with coronavirus right now. Again, finishing up the book, showing you who the cabal is, who's been running the show. And if you want to learn this code, I even have some stuff tucked in here about Kobe Bryant's death because it fits in. But again, it's really going to be spelled out in this book undeniably. Who's behind the coronavirus agenda, who's behind 9/11, why these things are happening, where we're going, how the sports are used to distract us, how they're all scripted in. It's all here. Numbered games, 9/11 to coronavirus, plus a whole lot more. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.